You're watching your portfolio barely move while scrolling through news about politicians somehow timing the market perfectly. You know something's off, but you can't put your finger on it. Here's what you're missing: the information isn't hidden, it's just buried where most people never think to look. I've spent years tracking what the smart money actually does, and there's one group of investors that consistently flies under the radar while making moves that would make Wall Street jealous. We're talking about members of Congress, people with access to information that could move entire sectors before the public even knows what's coming. Take Gilbert Cisneros, who's made 259 trades recently, or Josh Gottheimer with 57 strategic positions. The crazy part? All of this is completely legal to track, and most investors have no idea this goldmine of data even exists. Here's where it gets interesting. Since the Stock Act passed, every single trade these politicians make has to be reported publicly within 45 days. We're not talking about some shady backdoor information. This is government-mandated transparency that's sitting right there in plain sight. April McLean Delaney has logged 96 trades, while Jared Moskowitz has made 34 calculated moves. The problem isn't access to the information, it's knowing where to find it and how to interpret what you're seeing. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Most people think congressional trading data is buried in some government vault, but the truth is much simpler. Websites like Capital Trades, Unusual Whales, and even the official House and Senate disclosure databases make this information searchable within minutes. Maria Elvira Salazar's 32 recent trades are all documented, down to the exact dates and dollar amounts. Dan Newhouse's 31 positions are mapped out in detail. The real skill isn't finding the data, it's understanding what patterns actually matter and which ones are just noise. When I started analyzing this data systematically, one thing jumped out immediately: it's not just about individual trades, it's about timing clusters and sector concentrations. Thomas Keene's 24 trades might seem random until you map them against committee assignments and upcoming legislation. David Taylor's 23 positions start making sense when you see which industries they're concentrated in. The politicians who trade the most aren't necessarily the ones making the smartest moves, but they're definitely the ones worth watching most closely. And here's where most people make their biggest mistake. I've tested every platform out there, and here's what actually delivers results. Capital Trades gives you real-time alerts when new filings hit. Unusual Whales breaks down the data by party, committee, and performance metrics. The official congressional disclosure sites are clunky, but they're the source of truth. Tim Wahlberg's 16 trades and Matthew Van Eps's 13 positions are all tracked across these platforms with different levels of detail and analysis. The key is setting up a system that alerts you to new activity without drowning you in information overload. Here's the reality check most people need to hear: not every congressional trade is a goldmine, and blindly copying politicians isn't a strategy. The value is in understanding the broader patterns, when multiple members start moving in the same direction, when certain sectors see unusual activity, or when timing aligns with legislative calendars. Some of these 259 trades from Cisneros might be routine portfolio rebalancing, while others could signal major shifts in policy direction. The skill is learning to separate signal from noise, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. Look, tracking congressional trades isn't about getting rich quick, it's about having access to the same information sophisticated investors use to make better decisions. Start with Capital Trades or Unusual Whales this week. Set up alerts for the sectors you're already investing in. Pay attention to timing patterns, not just individual trades. And remember, this is just one piece of your research puzzle, not your entire strategy. If you want to take your market analysis to the next level, check out nexusaicalls.com for the tools and insights that can give you a real edge in today's market.